my dad literally drummed this into my head. You must go to school. You must go to school.
Okay.
And oftentimes I asked him, why do you really want me to go to school?
Okay.
And his reason was simply this.
Education is not that relevant when it comes to, being successful and making it in life. Hello and welcome to Let It Be podcast with Susan and Susan.
And I'm Lysias and Susan. I'm glad to have you on this channel.
And just in case you're watching us for the first time, this is a platform where we like to say it's your number one peaceful platform. And that's because we give you the opportunity to also air your views. And remember, Let It Be podcast is targeted at bringing to you relatable experiences, issues that people would ordinarily ignore, but it's really, really digging a hole, in the system of the society. And we just feel that this is an opportunity for us to also air our own views, with one goal in mind, and that is to make our society a better place and where you and I take responsibility for our actions.
So if you haven't subscribed, this will be a very good time to do so, and also hit that notification bell so you'll be notified anytime we drop any new videos. Also, would like to tell you that your opinion counts and your comments also counts. Please do well to share your comments with us in the comment section below.
Lysias, the amazing thing that I discovered while doing this research for, you really don't need education to become rich. And, one thing I discovered was that the normal, idea that we have, which is being a school dropout, or out of school people, as it were, I just realized that, that is like one of the many things that, those that are billionaires have in common. And I wanted us to start on that ground because there's just too much out there. And I believe strongly that this whole notion has really, really affected a lot of people, and they've not taken out time not just to run with the first thing they hear, but to, find out, okay, is there more to these? And so when I discovered this, I said, okay, why not come on a platform like this where we have lovely subscribers, to have this conversation. So one of the things that I discovered was that these billionaires have in common, first and foremost, is that they have common fields of study. So there's something that Mr. A knows and that Mr. B knows, okay, and that is especially in the area of their finances and economics. All right. So I also discovered that they also have another thing in common, which is they all have enrolled for military service.
So you don't go around messing around with them.
Going forward, I also discovered that they are mostly computer science majors, and then also graduated from prestigious universities, or let me say they enrolled or did one or two things with prestigious universities, but they have the connection. All right. And then they all went to public schools, as it were. And then last on this list was the dropping out of school. So don't you think that a lot of people have just allowed themselves to be scammed with that thought that, you don't need to go to school to be rich? What's your opinion?
Attending school, dropping out of school, I don't think they are the determining factor for who becomes a millionaire and who doesn't.
Okay.
Yes. What determines your success in life is your drive, your focus, and your goal. Once you can have these three things in alignment, it's possible for you to hit the goals and the targets you want to hit. You see, the reason why a lot of people have felt that going to school was a scam was because growing up, my dad literally drummed this into my head. You must go to school. You must go to school.
Okay.
And oftentimes I asked him, why do you really want me to go to school?
Okay.
And his reason was simply this. You go to school, you graduate, you come out, and then you get a civil service job, and then you literally start that same rat race all over again that we met a lot of our parents in.
Okay.
Working in civil service, you work for a certain number of years, you retire. Sometimes you retire, your pension isn't paid on time.
Okay.
You see, so that was their own ideas at that time. But you see, a lot has changed now. A lot of awareness, a lot of people have realized that you don't necessarily have to be in school to be a millionaire. But go to school, it is important, and it can also help you. Because the truth about the thing is, most of these millionaires you talked about, they were university dropouts and the rest of them. They speak well, they write well, which is to tell you that is also an aspect or something about education that is desirable out there for you to become successful.
Okay, so the truth is, these arguments, as it were, would always go on
Of
because
course, yeah.
There's facts on both sides. You know, when you listen out to people, which is something. When I was doing this research, I saw a lot of opinions, and on Let It Be podcast, we try to also say our own opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, especially I think it's about zooming into the area of money.
Yeah,
okay,
somehow.
So I don't think, some of these billionaires that have taken a stand are really wrong in saying that you're not taught about money in school.
No, but in school, we're not taught about money in school. All we are taught in school is that your degree or your qualifications can give you a high-paying job.
Yeah.
That's what we were taught. But financial literacy in itself was not taught in school. Like, I was never taught about financial literacy in school. I never knew what it was. I only heard that if you want to be rich, you need to save. That's what I wasn't even taught that if you want to be rich, you can invest. I was just taught that being rich comes from how much money you are able to save over a period of time. That's what we were taught.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is Robert Kiyosaki, I hope I got that name correct, had a lot of people listening to him and built literally a brand from that notion that education is not that relevant when it comes to, being successful and, making it in life. Because the truth now is, I'm this believer in results. Okay, yeah, we all went to school, and by the end of the day, the question is how we carrying on. And then the question is, when you now have a huge percentage of those that are billionaires being dropouts, it just brings this question because, mankind is structured to keep asking questions and to do comparison. One of the most funniest things is, with all your education and all your qualification, you find out that your landlord or your landlady did not go to school. It really impacts on a lot of people. All right. So, and also there's a lot of percentage of people that are dropouts.
Yeah.
So we here we're trying to plant our feet and say, okay, education, as relevant as it is, you need to also have money education.
Yes.
As Robert Kiyosaki would say, he would say that you should learn the language. There's something they call the language of money. Now, it starts with your drive. We're here to say, we that went to the regular school, we did not, in nowhere in our education where we thought that it was okay to aspire to be billionaires.
No.
Okay, I wanted us to be truthful.
Truth about it is that there was a lot of things that were being drummed into our heads and our ears those days. Like you find somebody who is let me not say desperate, who is eager to make it. Culture, in fact, our society at those days will say, you see that guy, he loves money so much, very soon he's going to steal. You understand? You see, so those kind of thoughts, those kind of words had a way of making us not aspire to be rich. It has a way of making us just be a mediocre. You can attend to your day-to-day needs. You can go through life. You can maybe not skip breakfast, have lunch, skip dinner. Just to the society, you are very honest. And unfortunately, it became so bad that if you see someone succeeding, the first thought that comes into the society's mind, some people's mind, is that it's ill-gotten wealth. You see, and it's very bad. It's very bad. You see, like Kiyosaki was saying, that it's not relevant for someone to go to school before making money. It depends on how you look at it.
Okay.
Now, if you go to school and you graduate and you come into the world and then you realize that you know nothing about financial education, but you want to make money, and then you start making efforts in that line to develop yourself, to improve yourself, and you begin to implement those things you learn, chances are that you will be successful. But you come out with a first class, you know nothing about finances, and then you just want to operate like that. Chances are that illiterate from your village who had no opportunity of being in the four walls of Western education, if that individual has any knowledge of financial literacy or understands how to invest, and chances are that person will become a millionaire while you will be serving that person.
I just want to put myself in the shoes of some people watching and they'll be like, is the argument here really having money or just touching lives? You see, on this particular podcast, we are talking about the power of wealth. We are talking about how these billionaires have been able to sell the idea that, okay, it's okay not to go to school. Somebody branded it the Steve Jobs myth of not going to school. I didn't even know that there was a coinage like that. But while researching, I saw that, okay, there's a coinage like that. And what I was trying to say is this has made a lot of people not to take their education seriously.
Yes, of course.
This is making a lot of youths just go after, the quick fix. Now, another thing that we learned on this podcast, and we're supposed to listen out for, is the fact that beyond your education in school now, it's not about our teachers, it's not about being emotional now. This is about saying, these are people, just as you said, let me add voice to what you said. It's about learning what matters.
Yes.
And under learning, we're talking about, okay, the importance of you learning the line of what you want to be. Number one, have a goal. You must have financial goal in order to get there, or else when the generation or when going down comes, it won't ask you if you ever knew anything about money, because the truth is everything that we will do, by the end of the day, we would want results and we will want reward, and that's where money comes in. We go to work because we know by the end of the day we will have money. So we cannot shy away from the importance that this whole thing has. You can see a lot of society being broken down, a lot of lives being lost because of this thing called money. And so on Let It Be podcast, we decided, let's talk about this issue. So one thing these billionaires do, just so that you don't take away, not going to school from this, is the fact that they learn.
Of course, they learn.
So as much as you've gotten your education, have you learned that, in that direction? What is this thing called money? Because I was amazed when I realized, okay, they go for stock exchange, they go get to Wall Street, they do their stocks, they do their trading and all that. This is what these people that build their brands do. So it's really different from, just being an entrepreneur. And we believe that there's somebody also watching that, wants to just go a step further or has questions. Everybody should desire to go a step further, because it's more, better up there. I'm not saying that it's not good to be, an employee and all that, but we're saying just in case you desire, it's a good thing. All right. So they learn in that direction. Knowledge just keeps evolving. We're even at a point now where people are saying it's better to learn, courses that, are viable, like, medicine and all that, and it would also help you get wealth in due time.
I think another thing that also affected us was because of, there was a lot of stereotype thinking. One of those stereotype thinking was a jack of all trades, master of none. You understand? But now we've realized we have come into an age where we find one individual having knowledge in 2-3 fields, and the person is actually very good in it. We see youth today, delving into graphic design, into coding, into so many things, just to diversify from just that one source of income. People are beginning to wise up. People are beginning to realize that, look, I can actually do something else or do other things also to also improve my financial standing.
Yeah, very, very important, very important. And the thing is that I think we should also take responsibility for our finances, and our, level. There are so many classes, that we have. We have the poverty class, we have, those that the affluent class, we have those that are rich, we have those that are wealthy, and it's important that you go through life paying attention to the class that you are. There's some that are average, at least they are beyond the poverty level, okay? So it's important that you know where you stand on this, because what amazed me was when I realized that there was a difference between fame and money, so some even say love, some say power, they put them in that category. So sometimes we're just restricted to what we hear. Why not to, spend your time also finding out some of these things? It's possible to have, it's possible to have money and not be famous. And some people choose fame over money because they feel that money can go, but their fame remains. People that want, to be on Guinness Book of Record, sometimes it comes with, its own benefits that only money cannot bring. So you see some people have not even started desiring to have money, but some people have left even that place to I saw a lot of interviews, and people want to just be famous. There are some people that already tested love and fame and power and just want love. Did you know that there was anything like that?
Truth is, I knew there was wealth and I knew there was fame, but those sounded mixed up to me. Yes, because I thought that when you're wealthy, you're famous, and when you're famous, you have money, or you're wealthy,
or you have power.
or you have power. But I've come to realize that as distinct as those two words are, they are also different in the natural world. They, like you said, the possibility for being famous and not wealthy is there. What does it mean? It means you could delve into a branch of science that nobody has heard about, and then you make a postulation that all the world comes to reckon with. You become famous but not wealthy. You understand? Now, also being famous can also give you it could be in terms of influence, because of how famous you are, you become an influence to society. The society wants to hear what you think about. You understand? Because the truth is, there are some people that are so wealthy but nobody knows about them, which means they are wealthy but not famous. There are also people that are very wealthy and then the society knows about them. Why? Maybe because of their charitable acts, philanthropy and all of those things. So I think now that you've mentioned it, I think it's something that somebody should aspire for. What is that thing that you can do that can change society or change people's life for the better, and possibly put your name on their lips, as it were, not necessarily meaning that you have so much money but you become famous.
That's the point here. I don't think that the whole equation is just about what you do for yourself. I think the society will always make room for people that do things to better the life of other people, and to impact their world. I think by the end of the day, everything would also come to that point, and just to also call out on those that are just about themselves and make them know that it's not just about your show off. There are people that also, I just feel that the society would always be made up of those that don't want to do and those that are doing, and then the society will lean towards those that are doing because there's a need and they are meeting the need.
And also that there are some people that are doing it just for show.
That's why I'm saying I said the society would lean towards those that are doing it to really help out. You can't pull wolves over everybody. No matter how we have a lot of NGOs, and I just want to use that as an example. People know the NGOs that are really genuine. We cannot overemphasize the fact that our society is really in need of those people that do things for the sake and of others and to meet a need. So you just cannot compare how the society reacts to those set of people as opposed to those that just want to amass wealth for themselves. So we needed to just mention that so that someone watching will not be wondering where all this is heading to. The truth is, you must really have to be able to make a difference. It could be intellect, it could be something, but by all means, there's always to give. You must have.
Yes, you must know something that somebody else doesn't know.
Yes, it's important. So I wanted to mention the importance of mentorship also on this journey of it's not a debate about whether education is the pathway. We've established the fact that when it comes to being successful and having money, there's a lot of loopholes, or maybe it hasn't been provided for. Well, that's what we're trying to say. So, but there's also the reason why I'm saying this is that when Robert was speaking, Saki was speaking, he spoke about mentioned some mentors. So it's important that you also want to get out of poverty, as it were, or you want to do well with yourself, or you aspire to live better, as it were. It's important that you have mentor. What do you think about that?
Yes, mentorship, the place of a mentor and the dynamics of mentorship cannot be overemphasized. What does a mentor do? A mentor is someone who has gone through one or two things in life, has made one or two mistakes, or a mistake that were not that obvious, but now he has realized there is a mistake. So that person can guide you, so you don't have to make that mistake and return back to square one. So it's more like mentors help you to avoid those pitfalls mentors that they made the mistakes that they made. So it's a very fast way to be successful.
Yeah.
I know that some people would think, okay, how do I get in contact with the mentor? For me, I believe that reading the books of some people who have succeeded and also imbibing and also implementing some things that they did, principles, yes, that they did will actually make you, that's having contact with them, though not a physical contact per se, but that's contact with them, and also that's a relationship that you build also over time.
Yeah, you cannot escape the fact that somebody somewhere have passed through the path that you're presently embarking or desiring to embark upon. So it's just as I said, it's like the surest shortcut.
Yes.
To get to where you're going to. It's important. I also listen to Cosmos Maduka.
Okay.
Yes, he is a CEO and president also of Coscharis group. Yep. He is the one that mentioned the need that he read books and he applies it. And what we're trying to say is, don't let education just be just be an obstacle. Keep learning, like just be on the journey of learning. What do you think?
Yes, learning is important. You see, they said, a wise man said, the day you stop learning, you start dying. So man is developed to constantly evolve, constantly learn.
Yeah, these are things that you must do for yourself, that you cannot just relax and say, oh, I've gone to school, I have the papers, let these things fall on my lap. Wow. That will not just work, because he mentioned that, yes, specifically for, I think those that will benefit from what we're talking about are those that really want to be entrepreneurs. We must also take note that there are people that are comfortable with just being employees and just being at that place of small scale. There are people that are comfortable about being there, and we respect the fact that
they are who they are.
Yes, we respect that fact. All right, so I saw some characteristics of billionaires.
Okay.
Yeah, the amazing thing, every time we mention billionaires, they are so popular and so famous. Every time we mention their names, we literally have their names at the top of our fingers.
I think that's because they are also our mentors, they are also our role models.
Yes, they are.
We are aspiring to be like them. We're trying to pick up from from where they are, and also be better versions of ourselves also.
So I saw something that there are some characteristics that may help. It's the fact that they read books. We're just talking about, you said that's the way you actually get mentored.
Yeah.
It's one big way. Some people have personal access. Okay, that's fine. But I mean, by and large, if they've done it, they can teach you. There's something you can learn from them. All right, so reading books, they wake up early, they wake up early, they never stop learning, this never stop learning. I like it when I learned that mistakes also is a very vital tool to get to the top. You just keep making mistakes. We're taught in school that mistakes are not good, and then you listen to billionaires and they're saying mistakes are good because it just brings out the best in you. You learn you learn the hard way the things you shouldn't do, which is a good one. Okay. And then also smart work, not hard work. Yeah, smart work, and then persistence. We've seen some rise, come down to nothing, and rise again. Now, this is us sharing our ideas also with our subscribers. We read books about people that had wealth, got down, but just be persistent. Don't give up wherever you are.
Yeah.
And we read stories of people that were even told that they cannot make it, and they've made. Some people even had, they were handicapped in one way or the other, but they made it by the end of the day. And then it said utilize the time efficiently, which is very important, especially at this time where there's a lot of distraction.
Time management.
A lot of distraction. So take charge of that. Utilize your time. It puts your time into what I like that phrase that they say time is money.
Yeah.
Time not money. All right. So utilize your time efficiently and effectively, and say desire to become a billionaire. Like desire.
Life generally starts with your desire. You see, growing up, and then that there's a university close to you. You desire to go to university.
Exactly. And so they also have faith in God. I wanted to also add to that the point about desire. Like, some people don't even know that they're having issues with their desire. I overheard an interview where someone was asked, what do you want to become? And the person, maybe a millionaire. No, maybe. Like really desire to become a millionaire. Very, very important. And then faith in God, which is also very important. In fact, we've had a lot of people that have said that they got the manual to become billionaires from the Bible.
Yes.
Many successful people, give that credit to God, and it's the truth. It's the truth. All right. So, and it also says that a definite plan to acquire your desire. The plan should go with the desire, which is also good. These are some of the things that have helped them. They also have actions, added to it, actions in that direction. And they also have both long-term and small-term goals, but emphatically small-term goals. They start from somewhere. Those are the major things that I saw. So, I mean, in summary, however, education, it's important. And we believe that a time is going to come when we're going to be taught about our finances properly. And thank God for subjects like economics also that prepares our mind for even the government that prepares our mind for the outer world. But you cannot leave everything to what you just read. It's important that you do your own part in all this. I don't know if you have any other thing to say.
Go to school, read, know, study everything. The reason is this: your mentors could be in the pages of those books, and if you're not educated, if you don't understand the language they are speaking, you won't be able to follow them. So education is important, but education is not the only way to being successful in life.
Yeah, I think also we're going to look at a time where the education system would also take all this serious and start imputing some of these things that we need to survive. Because by and large, the reason why people forget some of the papers that they have is because they're still struggling to survive, and it's looking like what they have is not enough to keep them afloat. So I mean, okay, not to digress too much. We just hope that a podcast like this would also spur someone in the right direction in order to reduce the amount of poverty presently in our nation, and or the amount of poor people. It's the lesser the better. All right.
So the truth is you need to aspire, and you need to have a drive for who you want to be. Just like as you said now, if a lot of us go into becoming quality entrepreneurs, we believe that the number of poor people out there in the streets is going to drastically reduce, and then we'll be able to help each and every one of us.
Yeah, that's very true. So we've been talking a lot about this whole argument whether education is a pathway to success or not, or whether it's not important, especially looking at billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs and Warren Buffett and Jeff Bezos and in the likes that have said okay, they dropped out of school, and which has been something that a lot of people have been acting on. But we've tried from the beginning to talk about other characteristics that they have that is working for them, and I will just hopeful that by the time you're through with this particular podcast, you would be, take a stand and make the right decisions.
So before we leave you, we'd like to ask you one question. Please share with us also other characteristics which you believe can make people millionaires and billionaires and all the likes of it, successful entrepreneurs.
Yeah, and so this is all we have for you on Let It Be podcast. I just hope that you've learned one or two things. And it is bye-bye from me, Susan Zona.
And I'm Lysias and Susan. Till I see you again, be good.
Bye-bye.